Good day, my people. It's me again, your village boy, reaching out to you from the Village Boy Academy. Yeah, thank you for all the comments and all the feedback from the last two videos, which talk about credit policy and understanding doubtful and bad debts. I really appreciate those comments, and because of some of your questions and the comments today, we are going to be looking at strategies for debt recovery. For clarity, let me tell you that what we have done in the last two episodes is to give you tips on how you can prevent the occurrence of doubtful and bad debts. And of course, I emphasize that there's little or nothing you can do, especially if you're in business and you want to expand and you want to keep on serving your customers. So these are things that will continue to happen, but managing it is a very critical thing. So what the tips I was given the other time was to kind of prepare our mind how we can prevent, the piling up of doubtful and bad debts, which I also emphasize that could undermine your cash flow and also could jeopardize your profit. Imagine the profit you have earned for 2-3 years, some couple of debts and doubtful debts just completely wiping them off. Nobody will be happy to do that. So that is why I give those tips, so that you prepare ahead of time and be more diligent and more circumspect in granting credit facilities. Now today I want to tell somebody asked me, what if you have already incurred, you already have debtors that you are finding difficult to recover, or they are proving difficult to pay. Like I said, two elements are very important in a customer paying what they owe you: the willingness and the ability. Yeah, sometimes from outside we may think, we may exaggerate what the willingness is. We may just exaggerate the ability, especially. So the guy has money, why is he not paying me? But sometimes until you ask, you don't know what somebody is going through. You don't know the struggle of the business or the struggle of the owner. Remember also, within the MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises, a lot of this in their owners run business. So whatever affects the owner, sometimes affects the business as well. So if somebody is already owing you and you have been having some sleepless nights on how to recover your money, and even if you are going to prevent against the future, at least the one that they be owe must be collected. So I'm going to look at strategies, but I want to broadly categorize these strategies to orthodox strategies and unorthodox strategies. When I mean by orthodox, I'm talking about strategies that may be legal, strategies that may not contravene the law of the land, the strategy that may not be inhuman, strategies that may appreciate the respect, dignity of a debtor, and not necessarily because the person is owing. Then we have to look at the unorthodox, which may be like something that is extra-judicial in nature. The truth that all these methods are being used to collect debt, so that is why I want to mention them. I don't want to pretend that those unorthodox methods do not exist. So that is not the aim of this forum. This forum is to give you tips that are truthful, tips that are genuine, that are sincere. And of course, it's up to you to decide which one you want to apply or which one is applicable to you and the one you want to discard. So there's no problem with that. But our job is to make sure we tell you as it is. So let's go first to the orthodox method, the ones that are legal, the ones that are, humane in nature. The number one is like in most economy, you have the credit bureau. And the first is to report to the credit bureau, and of course this have impact on the debtors, accessibility to further credits, especially when you do when the name of such debtor is flagged off. Anybody who wants to do business with a customer, of course, when they check the credit rating or the credit score, may avoid them rather. So they will now see them as chronic debtors who are not paying what they owe. So that could also help them to have some caution, to take some preliminary caution, to be more cautious of of not paying their debt, because they know that they are not going to get away with it, because somebody is going to report them, and that report, that record, we mar their business. It will have a negative impact on their own business. Your customers could be somebody also is running a business, or it could be just an end user of the product. Here, when we have credit economy, everybody is mindful of his credit score, or it's our credit score, because it's if it is not good, it limits a lot of things for you. So you would not want to joke or toy with that element of your life. And of course, another thing is that you can use a debt collector. We have professional debt collectors that are registered and some are regulated. Of course, I said in last video that debt collector will not do the work for free. A percentage or a fixed amount of money is paid to the debt collector to collect the money. Even some will say, okay, before I start off collecting debt for you, you have to pay me some administrative fee, because they have to spend money to chase the debt as well. And of course, they too also know that some of the time they may not succeed. So if they don't get any amount paid to them, it means that they might labor in vain. It will not be their fault that they are not able to recover, because again, even when they meet the customer, they write letter, they pay visit, they do all those things, threaten them with legal actions and all that. They are going to spend some money, they are going to spend some time to be able to reach out to the customer, to be able, with an attempt to kind of recover the debt that they are owed. Of course, they will have conversation, they will have others, they have all that. So, but then even that one does not guarantee they will be able to recover. Like I said in the last video, if his business is collapsed and there's no collateral, or even the collateral has been realized and it can no longer go around all the creditors, that's something you can do. Even the debt collector may not be able to do that. Of course, in some claim they approach the court, especially through litigation, by suing the debtor for not paying. It's tricky here, I must tell you. Yes, some people say, okay, when you go to court, it may take a long while, because especially in an environment where the process of justice is a bit slow. So that may encourage some debtors to say, okay, take me to court. I mean, we meet in court. So I want to pay, just I don't have the ability to pay. And of course, if you don't have the ability, you have to prove that in the court of law that you don't have the ability. And how do you prove that? The court has the power to investigate your finances. They can set up an audit. They can set up a direct investigation about the procedure, about what you are doing. The risk is there. When you go to court, you may not be able to hide. Yes, you may through adjournment here and there delay the thing, but there is a dangerous aspect of that too. The dangerous aspect is such that when many creditors come to complain about a particular debtor, especially if it's a company, it's a corporate entity, and they can jointly and individually apply for creditors wind down. So when you can wind down your company, yes, a group of creditors can approach the court to wind down your company, that you are no longer fit, and suitable to run a company, a business, because if you keep owing people and you are not paying, and so why are you in business? So, and that will lead to the dissolution of the business, to bankruptcy and all that. So that is where court can come in. So yeah, it may delay, but also it may have negative impact on your business. And when your business is flagged up, it's not a good thing. So you don't want to go through that route. You don't want to push your creditors to take you to court for that reason. Yeah, there are some places also, rather than going straight to the court, you go to the police, especially if it is an individual debtor, maybe somebody in the neighborhood that does not pay, somebody that does not pay the landlord and all that, and you go and lodge a case in court. There are some instances also that the police act as a debt recovery agent. Yes, I have seen that happen. In some crime where the police, it's okay, you write a statement when you are going to pay, or you draw up a schedule, or now you will pay, and you come and pay the money to at the police station, and the creditor, which is a customer, the one that is being owed, come to collect the money at intervals. Of course, this will not doesn't go free either. You have to pay the police. Yeah, I mean, even the most corrupt police will still be paid because they are rendering a service to you. And if you are dealing with a police that has a tendency to be corrupt, then if you are not careful, half of that money may even go into servicing the police. So these are fairly orthodox one, because they are almost all legal, and you cannot for their process and procedures, and you can approach them. But then again, none of this strategy guarantee that you are going to recover everything. And of course, that sometimes you even you are satisfied that you are able to recover something, which is not bad in itself. It's they say half a bread is better than none. So those are those methods you can use to recover your debt if they're already bad or they're already doubtful. That is the orthodox method. The unorthodox method, which people may look very extrajudicial, but people use it, and in some instances they are proved to be very effective. Permit me to make a strong appeal to my teacher brothers and sisters. This does not mean to respect your culture or your practice. That is what we call Shumalo style. Shumalo is usually by popularized by the teacher merchant of those days. In which case, when they settle you on credit and you paid, you promise to pay at a particular date, and you refuse to pay after due date, you may appeal to their senses of empathy and all that for a while, and they throw along with you. But get to a point and say, look, hey, today I must collect my money. And if whoever will fall, in most cases they will collect their money. See, kind of a thing. So it was very prevalent, and Egyptians are very known to that when you are an Egyptian man, you may be toying with fire. When he's ready to collect his money, he's ready to collect it, and he can go by any means to collect that money. And of course, if Egyptian blood doesn't flow in you, don't try that. Don't try with your Milo style. It may be around for you. So that is one I would consider it unorthodox, because they don't regard to any legal authority. They just decided on their own that, okay, I've had enough of these excuses. I'm going to collect this money. It's my sweat. I legitimately own the money. So you can't just owe me and go score without paying me. So yeah, it has worked. A lot of people have be able to recover their debt through that method. Then there's also what we call this Jankara system, especially in Lagos, whereby people go and obtain fake court injunction. This happen. I'm not making them up. So they come and they execute judgment, as it were. And what do? They come to your business, or your if you have a factory, they come to your factory premises and they take assets. As they grab assets, they can lay their hands on and move on, and you go and sell them and recover their money through that. Or they even come to your house. If you are a director in a business, they can come to your house, seize your car, seize your TV, seize your this, and they say, or they get a search warrant to recover things from, because you are owing them. Of course, some of them use for the Jankara case, they use what they call godo in those in some parlance there. Godo actually sometimes they either the mobile police, which you call Mopol, or some of these no rank soldier boys. So they use them to collect debt, and of course they use unorthodox means, like they just come after warning you that you don't pay the debt as so date, they will come and deal with you. Sometimes that is one of their language. Their method is a bit crude, if you permit me to say, but then the creditor, the person that is being owed, sometimes don't care, and they just want to get their money back, and and they get it. It has also worked, and Of course, the flip side of it, if the creditor now approach the court, there may be consequences for the debtors who decided to go the way of Jankara. I omitted there's another thing I omitted when I was talking about Orthodox method. There's also what we call moral suasion. Moral suasion is when you appeal to the emotion of the creditors to pay. Usually, it is used when you believe or you have the perception that the creditor has the ability to pay. It's just that he or she is not willing to pay. So you now try to appeal to his or her moral suasion. It's emotional or his or her emotional side to be able to pay up. I will tell you that this also works. It works in many instances. People say, okay, don't worry, I will pay you. They can come with the schedule and pay you up. So it has worked. On the flip side of it, the other side is which is common with what we hear about the uplanders. This is the emotional blackmail. Rather than appealing to moral suasion, they now want to use emotional blackmail. Why do they do that? They send messages to your contacts, which ordinarily they are not supposed to have access to, but because of desperation on the part of the borrowers, they make them sign agreements that give them concession to access their contact. The truth is, legally speaking, somebody that is not a party to your transaction cannot be contacted to remedy the debt you are being owed. Yes, there are instances where third parties could be legally, involved in the transaction. For instance, when you are lending somebody money or you are sending a credit, and the person comes with the guarantor, and the guarantor fill a form, so that guarantor becomes a party to the transaction, though it's a third party to it. So if you cannot recover your debt from the creditors, you have the right to approach the guarantor to make up what you are being owed after it has been proven. So what the uplanders are doing, it is very unorthodox. It's calling people that is contacting people that are not aware of the transaction that happened between you and the borrower. It's an illegal means of debt recovery, but they do it too. So it works for them. Like I said, when you take away the morality or no morality of a particular strategy, what is important is, does it work? All the systems I've mentioned work. They will actually work. People have used them, any of them. Some people have used combinations of them to recover their debts. But they say some of them are not good enough, some are good enough. So this is a method you can use. Of course, other methods could also abide. Sometimes you also grant some people further discounts to pay up. In some claim, you have to pay finance charges if you default. But some other claim, you have to say, okay, you know what? Instead of you pay me $1,000 for what you are owing, can you pay $800 and write off the rest? So yeah, some people also do that, and that motivate them. Of course, there are also instances where people they extend further credit to the person. Especially maybe somebody will sell it. I'm sorry, I lost my wear so that I cannot buy. But if you can extend further credit to me, what I would do when I'm paying back part of the old and part of the new. And if you are persuaded that the customer is not playing pranks, so you can do that. People have done that, and over time, the creditors they pay up what they are. Each time they are paying for the new credits, they pay part of the old credits, and on, and in a revolving manner. And over time, they completely eliminate the amount they are owing. So the bottom line is like you want to get your money back as much as possible, and of course, we also do know, like I said severally in the last video, that there's no 100% guarantee, no assurance that you will get it. So, but whatever measures you want to take, take to recover your debt, especially if you already have the fear of doubtful debt, you have some issue of bad debt. Let me also say this also, that a debt that has been written off as bad doesn't mean you cannot still recover. Yes, there is also in accounting there's a provision for bad debt recover. So it's also possible you can still recover something out of it. And of course, because you have made provision for a debt as a doubtful debt doesn't mean you stop making effort to recover something. You might be lucky to still recover something from it. So whatever method you want to use, think about the implication. If you are using extrajudicial measure, there are legal implications, especially if you are dealing with a debtor that may know his or her right. You can be sued, and you end up losing on both sides, because you can be sued for whatever reason. So you have to be very careful about this. I also know that part of Orthodox method, where some lawyers also act as debt collectors. They write letter threatening and all those. Yeah, we have lawyers who practice as debt collectors. But we also have debt collectors, professional on its own, whose job mainly is to collect debt that are already going bad or becoming doubtful. So whichever method you are trying to use, always consider the implications, because all of them have implications. But one thing is important also, you have to note, whatever method you are using, you are going to pay. You are not going to get it free. So that is the cost of recovery. Why you can charge that to business costs or the same, but all those costs, remember, they erode your profits. But then, unfortunately, you cannot help it. Somebody reached out to me and I said, why should MSME even grant credits? I told the person, a very referred friend, I said, look, there's a cultural aspect to it. In some part of Nigeria, for instance, is mainly cash and carry business they do. But in some parts, buying of credit is like as important to them as the air they breathe in. So there's a cultural dimension to do that, to that too. So we cannot completely say that MSME will not grant credit. That is a bit of fallacy. But if you can, I have said it over and over again, if you are well positioned in a business whereby you don't need to grant credit, good for you. So that helps your cash flow. That also helps your bottom line, your profit. But however, we should also not be mindful that there are instances that are not practicable. So if you're already owe and you are thinking of recovery, you can consider any of the strategies I've used, but pay attention to the cost and the implication of whatever method you want to use. Yeah, I'm your village boy. I'm giving you another tips. Like I said, this is not full consultancy. If you want to learn more, or you need full consulting, you can consult us. You can reach out to us by all possible means through the social media, whatever, on our website, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube, on our Instagram. We're everywhere. And if it is difficult and cumbersome for you to reach out to us, look for any serious-minded consultant around you. It doesn't have to be the village boy. Consultants are well trained and they are well equipped to help you. But with emphasis, I keep on saying, good things don't come cheap. Good things are not always free. So pay them for their services and you will be glad you did. So until I come your way next time, watch this video, share it with your friends, encourage them to subscribe so that they don't miss out on subsequent videos that we shall be given, where we shall be making to give tips about how you can run your business profitably. I've said that the cardinal objective of this platform is to help you to run your business profitably. Thank you. Have a good day.